everyone. Welcome to the Art of Zenning Chapter 6.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, we are thrilled to be here again to have a discussion with our dearest and nearest and most wonderful audience.
Hope you're having wonderful time and you have been conscious of your decision making process and are enjoying being in each and every moment.
Yeah, so we've talked about decision making, we've talked about acceptance, letting go with the flow of life, and we will talk about something new yet, continuity in our learnings of life in today's video. And then we'll also want to do something new towards the end of the video once we've talked about the new concept that Sandy is going to introduce for us. Not new concept, but new from us as we learn the concepts and we bring forth to you folks. But towards the end, we would like to close off this video with a short meditation from our coach Sandy.
We have been talking a lot about what we have talked in the videos, and what I realized is when we talk about decision making, what is the perfect way to decision making? And then I realized that whatever is the perfect way to decision making is the way to life.
Yeah, it's that there is the way to everything in life. And I think what we are hinting at is recently we came across a concept that is from Taoism. So from Tao, the ancient wisdom. The concept is called Wu Wei, W-U Wu. W-E-I Wei, Wu Wei, comes from again ancient Chinese wisdom. And what it means is Wu means no or nothing, and Wei could loosely be translated as action or forcing things. So in other words, the concept of Wu Wei is no forcing in your life. So just going with the way the life is unfolding, going with the flow and not forcing action upon unnatural way of how the life unfolds in front of us, for all of us.
So what we realized is that Wu Wei is the way. So what that means is that whenever you live life and go with the flow and you do not force yourself to something or an excessive action, when you sail with the wind and don't try to row your boat against the tide, you're more relaxed and your life just flows effortlessly and beautifully and in sync with everything that's around you.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to draw a parallel, like the life is like a river flowing and the river is flowing in a certain direction, we don't, and the most of the stresses that we induce upon ourselves in our lives is when we endeavor to flow against the current of the river, which you can imagine is not only hard, but then when things don't work out because we are forcefully going against the flow of things, we tend to blame the river. Why is the river not flowing with me? Which obviously the river is flowing in its own direction. We were the ones that were wanting to flow against the current, and hence the stresses that are self-induced. So Wu Wei is actually not forcing ourselves to go against the current of the river of life or the universe's flow, which is very similar to the concept of acceptance that we've talked about in the past, whether it is acceptance of everything that is unfolding in front of us, and very similar to letting go, very similar to like Eckhart Tolle talks about surrendered action, which is not passive by any stretch of the imagination, but it becomes stressful when you are forcing yourself. Like, if I'll give my example, if I have a certain number of projects that we have to undertake at work, if I decide nope, for some egoic reasons I don't like project A and I'm going to go with project B, even if A makes perfect sense from the organizational perspective, then I am inducing undue and unnecessary forceful action, which is against the principle of Wu Wei.
So when you look at everything around you, when you look at nature, what nature does it surrenders to the natural flow of life. It surrenders to what is, and it doesn't fight it. So if an animal is like, if you have had a pet or if you have a pet, when the animal is sick, it knows exactly what to do. It doesn't force itself to do what it doesn't want to do. So if it doesn't want to eat, it won't eat. If the animal wants to lie down, rest, recoup, that's what they do. So Wu Wei is the natural surrender to the cycles of life and surrendering to what is, because we all have a limited amount of energy. So what Wu Wei does is, when we surrender to what is and we take the time to be the witness and observe, then whatever action that we do will be an action that leads to massive outcomes. We're not forcing. So suppose you've been handed an essay to write and you're writing it, but you're not having an inspiration to write it. So you get up and take a walk and come back to it when you're feeling inspired. The outcome would be way more significant if you had forced yourself to complete it when you didn't feel that inspiration from the inside.
Yeah, and again, the point is not to be whether surrendered action, whether following Wu Wei, with still focusing on the outcome in the future. That is not the point at all, because then, in a way, we are fooling ourselves, and subconsciously we are still forcing ourselves upon a certain action with that outcome in mind. I think it was Winston Churchill who defined success as moving from one failure to the next with no loss of enthusiasm. So it's not like I am less enthusiastic because I've been failing, or more enthusiastic because I absolutely want to succeed. Or another way of saying it is, our need to win sometimes drains us of the power, because we are always focusing on the outcome, on the success, on winning, without realizing that that outcome is going to happen regardless of how forcefully action we take. So might as well feel successful within the action right now. As I said, I think in the last video, there's no happy ending to an unhappy journey. So we got to be thoroughly enjoying our journey and going with the natural flow of things.
So when we're not doing something, from that arises a stillness, and from that stillness, the action that arises is way more powerful than when we force ourselves into an action, or we force ourselves to an outcome that is, that is desired. That's where we want to go. The journey is very, very important. Whatever we do in life, the journey is very important, way more important than what the outcome is, because oftentimes when you get something and you've really forced your way to get something, you get it. It's like falling in love, right? You can't force yourself to fall in love. That's why you say it's falling in love. That means you're surrendering to it. It's a spontaneous event in your life that happens. And when you surrender to it, life feels beautiful.
Yeah.
Life feels romantic, right? Because you have surrendered to your inner self in making someone else the center of your existence.
That's a good point. I just thought of it. They say falling in love. They do not say climbing in love.
Yeah.
Because climbing is forceful action.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Falling is effortless. And I guess that's the source of the saying.
Yeah, and so that's what Wu Wei is. Wu Wei is the way to life, where you're not forcing yourself into an action, and your inaction becomes your ultimate surrender and leverage from where you fly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so many times we find ourselves at crossroads in life where then you say, what is Wu Wei intending for me to do? Because I see both options as some kind of either a forceful action to be undertaken in order to achieve objective A or B, as we talked about in our last video. Then how do you how do you assess what is the natural way of life? you listen to your inner voice, listen to your intuition, listen to what the most relaxed form of inner voice coming that guides you, which is our coach, inner coach, or what tells us truly to not rush into something we are not meant to.
Like, it's like if you look at the skies, right? There's not storms all the time. The birds are not flying all the time. They rest and then take their flight. So there's moments of stillness before a storm. There's moments of sitting down, observing, being the witness to what is, and then if an action comes, surrendering to it, but not forcing yourself to take an action.
So, if Wu Wei makes sense to all of you, please embrace it like we have, and try to live your lives according to the natural way. And would you like to do the meditation?
Yes, absolutely. So, what I've decided in 2020 to embrace this way of life, which is the way to my life, is the Wu Wei, and starting my day with a surrendered action or inaction, feeling that stillness inside me and reconnected to that stillness throughout the day, being aware of what my thoughts and feelings are. So we'll do a little meditation. We have mentioned meditation as a great way to connect to our inner self. And so what we'll do is we'll do a couple of minutes of meditation, and you can take a few minutes, you can continue it for a few minutes after we end the video, but make it a practice to meditate every morning, every evening, and a few times in between. So if you want to close your eyes, do so, but if you don't want to close your eyes, that is okay too. So it's good to focus on something, look at something that's in front of you. It could be anything. It could be, a dot, a candle, or any object. Nothing of meaning. It doesn't have to be anything of meaning, just something that you can focus your attention to, because what we're trying to do is let go of everything except our being, our connection with our breath. So take a deep breath in, and as you inhale all the love in the world. And as you exhale everything that is negative in you, everything that is bothering you. Let it go. Let it go back to the universe. As you breathe in stillness. As you breathe out all the chaos inside of you. Continue to breathe in. Notice the pause before you start to breathe out. Your breath is your connection to the universe. Every time you breathe in, you take in prana, the source of life. And every time you breathe out, you surrender to what is. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, feel your body relax and give in to gravity. Reconnect with the earth beneath you. And let that energy flow from the sky above and envelop you with its eternal love. Breathe in and out. Feel the joy of the universe coming to your heart, and feel your heart getting radiant and embracing that love and overflowing with that love, and that love flowing to the whole body, every single cell. Feel yourself healing from everything that you've gone through, healing from the thoughts in your mind. If thoughts come, let them come. If thoughts go, let them go. Namaste.
Namaste. Excellent. Hopefully you guys are relaxed as we are. And we will catch up with you next time.
Thank you, everyone, and have fun out there, and surrender to what is and follow the way, which is the Wu Wei.
Take care.